So let's talk about this wonderful family bathroom with the wet room scenario. It's a lovely big room, really fabulous family bathroom. As you walk through the door, this is what you're greeted with. You see this far wall where the bath has been placed, the shower's to the right hand side, and it's got a sloping ceiling. I really like a sloping ceiling in a bathroom because it just adds that slightly more sort of offset feel, so it feels a little bit more relaxed than everything that's very square and boxy. When it comes to designing a space like this, if you want to put a feature wall in, obviously the wall that you see when you first walk through the door is always the ideal wall to have as a feature wall. That's exactly what this fabulous room is giving us. However, if you walk into your space and the wall facing you might have a window on it and no sanitary ware, for example, just think about how you feel when you then turn the corner and you look at the most prominent wall in the room, and that is your feature wall. When you're designing a room, imagine walking into the space, seeing what's going to be in front of you, and then turning, because having a feature wall once you turn the corner can sometimes really add some drama to the room. You know, it's a bit of a sort of an unexpected excitement. So just try and visualize yourself in the space when you're designing a room. This room, fab. Walk through the door, this is the wall that greets you. So we've put our feature on there. But on the floor, we need to be cautious because we actually have this wet room scenario. We've got a shower over here with a tileable tray. So we've decided to team our fabulous feature tile. In fact, I'm going to show you the combination. This is our Reflections teal. Oh, it's so beautiful. And we've teamed it with our cast white. Now, cast white is a very soft, warm white porcelain. It's from the Designer Basics range, and it comes in two types of product. It comes in a 60 by 60 natural finish tile, and it also comes in a matching 30 by 60 anti-slip. And that is exactly what we have used in the shower area. Now, a lot of people say, well, why don't you use the anti-slip throughout? It's a bathroom at the end of the day. You're going to be walking around with wet feet if you have a bath. But I really would not suggest that. If we suggested you use anti-slip tiles throughout a bathroom, you would never forgive us. And I'll explain why. In a shower area, you need that degree of anti-slip because you've got body gels, or shower gels, I should say, you've got conditioners and shampoos that you use in that space and that are likely to contaminate the floor. Now, it's contaminants that make a floor slippery, so you want to make sure that the product you have on the floor in there is got a really good anti-slip quality to it. So the cast white anti-slip is perfect for that space. And then take the natural finish to the rest of the bathroom because you really do not need that degree of slip resistance on a standard bathroom floor. And you can imagine when something's got a very sort of grippy surface, as the anti-slip tiles tend to, they are an absolute nightmare to keep clean. So the last thing you want around a WC area is a tile that really doesn't like to be kept clean, as you can imagine. So a natural finish tile in the main part of the room is perfect, and the anti-slip in the other area. The other thing about keeping the floor to the same colour and the same range is you're making it look as spacious as possible because you're not actually defining the shower floor with another tile. That's the main reason, if I'm honest, I like tileable shower trays because the whole room flows. You don't have one floor tile on the main floor and then a shower tray taking a corner out of your room. You've actually got that wonderful flow. On the back wall, we've chosen Reflections in this teal colour. It's just sitting in between a blue and a green. It's so lovely. Each tile is slightly different. Let me see if I can zoom in on here and see whether, yeah, look at that. Hang on, let's move this down. Fabulous. It's got so much going on in there. And you can actually grout it in various colours. I tend to like the dark and moody feel. People would say it's a reflection of maybe my personality, but I would like to use maybe a really, really dark grey with this. It would add a bit of drama to it, but also some of our blue grouts would look fantastic. Now, one of the things that you'll notice with baked tiles is when you go on to the page for that particular product, you will see our recommended grouts. We tend to choose the grout when we think about using it with that tile on its own. But if you're using it in a scheme where you've got other tiles and you're really not sure what grout colours you need to use to tie it all together, then please just pick up the phone or drop us an email and one of the designers will offer you some advice. But here you could go a pale grey to bring out these details. You could go a dark anthracite colour, as I've mentioned, or you could go for one of our blue tones. They'd all look fantastic. So the room itself is fairly simple. We've got the Designer Basics cast white on all of the floor area, either in the natural finish or the anti-slip. We've chosen to use reflections in teal. We've used that on the back wall as a feature wall, but we've done it in a herringbone. Now, when it comes to layouts of tiles, if you're new to this sort of home renovation lark, I strongly suggest you download our style guide, because it will actually tell you the impact that various patterns will have on a space. So in this instance, we've used a herringbone, but you'll see we've got it all pointing up like that towards the ceiling. Please be careful, because if you tell your tiler you want herringbone, you may end up with it going that way. In this space, we wanted to take the eye up, partly because of the slope in the ceiling. Take it all up. If, however, we had a really, really tall ceiling and a very narrow wall, we might decide to run it the other way, so it takes the eye across the room. All that information is actually within our style guide, so you can download that. It usually comes as a pop-up when you go onto our site. Download it or drop us an email if you need any more information. So that's the sort of the rationale behind the design of this bathroom. Again, the important bits are the dressing out items. As you can see, we've got some really rustic aspects going on here in a lovely rustic little stool in the corner. We've got that bath mat, which is fabulous, and that's all it needs really to turn a room that actually is going to age very well, because by just re-accessorizing the room, I think you'd find it's going to have a long shelf life, but a fabulous space again to get a glass of wine out and chill one evening.